in the world on YouTube. You want to say what's up to everybody in the world on YouTube? What's up, everybody? All right. I thought we were gonna have a snowstorm hit camp here, but it looks like it's kind of taken a little bit of a turn to the west. So let's go outside and check it out. I want to show y'all what we're working with here. It's just been really windy, but oh, let me turn off my email so it's not loud. But all right. So what's up, everyone? All right, let's go outside here. Let me put you up here on top of the wood. Check this out. This is all the wood that I have left right here. That's it. This is the rest of the hardwood from my hardwood broker. There's like 7 pieces. And so I literally don't have enough hardwood to keep going. And they're out of hardwood over there at the wood broker. And so I think that I'll probably take off soon and go to Arizona and just get everything ready for the purchase of the property that I'm getting. So but let's go out here real quick. Unzip this. This is all frozen right here. So I got to thaw all this stuff out. This is all frozen in the ground, and same with the rest of the vestibule around here. So when I take off, I'm going to have to probably boil a bunch of water. Okay, Pumpkin, you go ahead. Go ahead, sweetie. When I take off, I'll have to boil a bunch of water and thaw it out. So let's go out here. I want to show you what was coming in. So essentially, that it doesn't look that ominous right now. It's actually just broke up a lot. That right there was a big storm cell that was coming in, and it's looks like it all broke up really just now. I mean, literally like 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago when I scheduled this, it was coming right down on us, and then it just dissipated now. So, but we got a really pretty sunset starting up, so hopefully the sun keeps hitting it. And Sierra, why don't we go inside? It's really cold. It's been really cold all day. I don't think temperatures got above 25. Come on, sweetie. Come on. She's like, why did we go out and now we're going back in? What's going on? Come on, girl. Come on. Let's go in here. All right. Let's go inside. So hang on one second. We're going to hop back in the tent here. I got the stove going, and I do have a lot of pine wood. I have access to pine wood and aspen wood if I want. But, you know, I've already been winter camping for almost 2 months now, and I do need to go get some stuff ready for that property. I need to get a trailer and a water container, a water storage container for the property, and all that stuff. And so I'll probably roll out of here, I don't know, maybe Thursday, maybe Friday, I don't know. One of those days, and then head back or come back here maybe one more time, and then close on that property on the 25th. So anyway, what's up, everybody? All right, let's see. We got that. Let me close that window back there. Hang on. What's up, sweetie? What are you doing? All right, so I don't know if y'all saw that post today that I put up in the community section, but I got a new sleeping pad, and this is the X-Pad sleeping pad. That is, or X-Ped sleeping pad. EXPED. This thing is 6 inches, like thick, and it's kind of expensive. It's about $300, but I mean, it's my full-time bed, so I figure it's worth it. And it's self-inflating, so you open it up, and it gets to a certain point, and then there's like a hand pump you can use to firm it up a little bit. So it's really awesome. So, all right, Ray Anderson, what's up, dude? Let's see what's going on here. Your 6-year-old currently has me making videos of him using this. Oh, that's cool. He wants to be a YouTuber. That's fun, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I was at the bank yesterday because I had to do a wire transfer. That's why I'm so tired looking today. I didn't get any sleep Sunday night, and then yesterday I had to be on the road all day going to Denver and back. And I was in there, and they asked me what my profession was at the bank, and I was like, I guess I'm a YouTuber. And they're like, that's so cool. So it was kind of fun. I was talking to them for a little bit. I said, yeah, what you doing, girl? So I took my other mattress out from underneath there. This is an old memory foam mattress. I didn't realize how ghetto this was until I stopped using it and started using this new pad. And it's so this is Sierra's bed now. It's like a little elevated bed. She gets to lay here right by the stove and hang out, and you know, get a bunch of nice heat and stuff like that. So all right, let's see here. What do we got? James, what's up? Jim Meyer from Durango. How you doing, man? Probably be rolling through there soon, I would imagine. Probably the Four Corners area. John Burrows, hey, that's awesome, man. Hello from Scotland. Hello back from Colorado. So Jeffrey Herbert, cheers, almost 420. That's funny, man. What time is it? 5:30. Oh, okay. So yeah, it's probably you're probably in California or something like that. The walking dude, you're asking me about how my experience was volunteering for the Forest Service. I enjoyed it. It was awesome. The only thing in Colorado is it just gets hammered with a lot of traffic, and so I ended up, instead of doing actual trail work, it was just more of like picking up trash, which was fine. You know, you get to see a bunch of beautiful areas, and when you work with those folks and other volunteers, they end up telling you about the good spots about where to go to. So it's a nice way to get information really fast about an area that you may not be familiar with. If you volunteer, you're able to, you know, have those folks kind of give you the heads up of the spots that aren't spoiled yet. And there's still all those spots throughout the country. I mean, there's spots in California, there's spots in Colorado, so there's places you can go where there's not a bunch of people around. So typically, that's what the information you can get out there. So Kyle, you're asking about when we can expect a backpacking video. I actually had a snag with that. I was talking with Lux today, and apparently the stove that I ordered, when I ordered it, it said there was 4 left on their website, but there were probably some orders ahead of me because it was over the holiday weekend, and so they contacted me and said, "Hey, just a heads up, like, you know, we got the tent and stuff, but we don't have the stove." And I said, "Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you just refund the money for now, and I'll look at getting it here in just a little bit. I'm going to be pretty busy with my ranch," and so they're like, "Yeah, that's cool," and gave me a refund on it. But I definitely want to get definitely want to get that soon. And if I don't go with Lux, I might go with Seek Outside because they've got some pretty good gear. So, all right, let's see here. For Wallace, you were asking me about. Let's see, I'm trying to get this here. There it is. Ask me about what I do for insurance for my truck. So a friend of mine is actually in insurance. Wow, Rocco, that's amazing. $500 super chat. So thank you so much. That's impressive. That's the biggest one I've ever had. So Wallace, you were asking about the truck insurance. What I do is I have a friend of mine in Kansas who's who's a car insurance agent, and so he was just like, "Hey, let me look around and see what I can get for you." And he got me a deal to where I am covered to be on the road full time. And so I do need to transfer the rest of my stuff to South Dakota. I haven't gone up there to get my license changed over. And when I do, I can transfer over my insurance to there. And it's a little bit cheaper than Kansas. Right now it's registered in Kansas, and that's where all my stuff is. Well, it was, and then I'm transferring up to South Dakota. So that's what I'm doing right now. It's hard to get insurance though. I mean, you have to like really talk to an agent and say, "Look, here's the situation." Like, you know, you tell them like you're a professional photographer or something like that. Like, "Look, I'm always on the road. I need something that's going to cover me for driving a lot of miles and kind of living out of my vehicle from time to time." And most of the time, she's looking at me out of the corner of her eye. She's got her face covered up, but then she's sitting there looking at me like that. "What are you doing, sweetie?" She's so much fun. So, but just be honest with the agents, and they'll tell you yes or no. Like, they'll say, "Yeah, my company does that, but here's some stipulations," or "No, they don't do it." And I got an additional $10,000 coverage of just different gear that I have on my truck, just different things that I've done for upgrades. You do have to keep your receipts for that though. So if you don't have the receipts for anything that you want to insure additional above and beyond your vehicle, like a camper or something like that, I don't know what else you probably insure, but I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff you can do. If you have that, make sure you have those receipts available and on hand when you sign up for that new insurance policy. It just makes it easier. So, and I think you can get up to $10,000, and after that, you're kind of on your own. They're not going to say like, "Hey, I'll insure a Toyota Tacoma for 200 grand." I mean, that's just crazy. So they'll give you like an extra 10 grand, maybe 15 on like on a newer vehicle. My truck's 15 years old, but maybe on a newer vehicle, and go from there. So, all right, let's see, what have we got here? I need to go back through. All right, let's see. Oh, let's see. Lisa, to see you're over in Pagosa. I'm over in San Luis Valley, so I'm not near Pagosa at the moment. We just had it was like a little like kind of pop-up storm that just happened to kind of freak. It wasn't in the forecast, and I looked outside and it was kind of snowing a little bit at camp, but not very much. And so but it's pretty much broken up now. So, all right, let's get back to this. So yeah, so unfortunately, like I was saying, the hot tent, the backpacking setup, and the ultralight stove are not coming in the mail. It was just a little bit of a communication mishap, probably on my end when I was looking at their website. I didn't take into account that it was the holiday weekend and they probably had orders that were already before me. So that's what took it. And there was only like 4 left anyway. So I totally understand. And that's fine. Lux is a great company. I have nothing bad to say about them. So, all right. So let's see here. I'm feeling better. Deanne, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm feeling healthier. I'm still only about 100. I'm 158 pounds right now, is the same as last live stream. So I haven't gained any weight, but it's better than the 130 that I was at. So I'm just glad that the Giardia is completely taken care of. I'm glad that seems like I'm able to absorb nutrients now. Whereas before I was just always hungry and just always kind of felt bad. And so it's nice to feel better again. And I'm looking forward to the ranch. I was talking to Craig today. Craig, my buddy that I do the podcast with, and we were talking about number one, kicking up the podcast again once I'm done winter camping, and then two, I was talking about how excited I am to have a place to kind of land for a little bit. And so it's going to be cool to be able to go there and just kind of hang out and camp. I can camp on the property. I think for like up to 6 months at a time, without a permit or something like that. So it's I can do that, and it's just there's nobody around, and then backing up to that state land is real nice, and just have a bunch of room to kind of stretch out. And so I'm excited for that. It's going to be good, and I'm planning on possibly getting like some sort of workout system there. I mean, I've got bands that you can use, like the resistance bands, but I'd like to get some free weights and start lifting weights again, because I used to do that when I lived in Denver, and it was nice to be up to like around 180 pounds. So that'd be great. So you will look marvelous, Billy Crystal. For those of us that know old school comedy, Billy Crystal was the man. So, but anyway, everything here is going good. It's been really, really cold. This been, I think, probably around anywhere from 5 to -5 every night. And so that's getting kind of old, but I've been getting up with the stove quite a bit. I did change allergy medications, and I think that's what's been keeping me up at night. I haven't been sleeping at all for the last week, and so I've been kind of tired and running ragged. And I should have been filming at night, like since I've just been lying there awake, but I haven't. So I'm planning on getting caught up with that and get a new video out here shortly, probably tomorrow. I've got a video sponsor, Harry's, that I've got to do a video on. So I'm gonna shave the neck, but not the beard. I'm gonna keep that going. So. All right. And I want to say thanks to everybody for all the positive feedback about the videos and all that stuff. And I like to put these out there. And sometimes I feel they get kind of repetitive, because it's like me in the snow, and another day of me in the snow, and another day of me in the snow. But I hope that I try to put enough variation into it. And then also like some products like the new jerry can water purifier. What's up, Joe? That's sitting over here behind Sierra. The icon lifesaver thing. I like to put stuff in there like that just to kind of keep it interesting, because I don't think people want to watch me cook breakfast every single day. So, but I welcome any ideas if anybody has any things that they want me to cover. I do have a video of, I think it was in September, when that first snowstorm hit, when I was camping with Baron and Elsa. And it's a video of how I set up and break down the tent, because a lot of people ask about that. And so I'm thinking about putting that up. I mean, I've already got it done, but I've got that video of showing the setup and breakdown. And it's pretty simple. It's not as hard as you would think with this. And so I'll probably put that in some video coming up and then get that out there. And I started looking through it. I think I have almost a terabyte of winter camping footage. And so once I get out to Arizona, obviously I'm going to do some videos about what I'm doing out there, but I'll probably still put some videos up about winter camping, because I've got so much footage and stuff that I haven't covered yet, and stuff that I haven't even edited. And so we'll get that going. So, all right. So update on Sierra. She's doing great. She seems to be in great spirits. Appetite's way up, which is good. She's sleeping great at night and seems to be doing well. She doesn't have any blood or urine, so that's good. And just seems to be in good shape. So the doctors in Sedona, when we were out there, the vets checked her out and we're like, yeah, she's doing good. So we're just going to keep her on the up and up, and just keep monitoring, making sure everything's okay, and just going forward. So that's funny. I always seem so calm in the eye of the storm. Yeah, I think what it is right now, it's not that I'm calm. I'm just really tired, and so I'm actually kind of almost falling asleep, because like I said, I haven't been sleeping that great, and then the wind at night has been horrendous here. Like I think it was Saturday night. I had plans to go ice fishing on Sunday with a friend of mine, and so let's see. I was going to go ice fishing with a friend of mine, and I woke up. I didn't even go to sleep until like 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday because the wind was so bad. That's the one thing about this tent. For those of you that have this tent or that have picked one up, because I have been getting some emails from people that have found this tent in their local Cabela's store because it's still in stock for the tents that haven't sold out. So it's just not available online. But the flap, like the protector that I have over the outside of the tent that protects the tent ceiling from any ambers coming on it, that thing flaps in the wind so much. And I literally think that if you make sure that your spark arrestor is clean, and you know, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's worth losing that much sleep to have that thing on there. And if you get a little pinhole of like a coal that goes on the top of your tent and burns a hole in it, you can always patch it. I mean, it's easy to patch. I've actually hit the side of the tent here with when I've been clearing snow, because like you clear snow to expose your tent stakes so you can drill them out of the ground because the sun kind of warms it up. So like a couple of years ago, I put a huge gash in the tent wall, like a huge one. It's right on the side, on the close to the ground where all the cold air would just seep in. And so I just grabbed that was like a patch kit that comes with this, and I grabbed. Let's see, where's that? I've got one patch over here. This one isn't the big one. The other one's over there. Somewhere. Oh, here it is. I'll show you. So you can see right here. There's sorry, it's out of the way. Sorry. There's a patch right here. This was actually a huge cut that was in the wall. Let me grab this light and I'll show you. So I accidentally cut. Well, you can't really see it. You can kind of see it there. It's on the outside, but I cut a big hole right here, and that would have completely destroyed the tent had I not patched it up. And also too, like you get mice that would come in and all those things, and so I'd be really frustrated, and you wouldn't be able to keep your tent warm. Yeah, that's the biggest one. And so those patches work really well. That was like 3 years ago that I did that. And you got to think three winters of full-time camping, every couple of weeks setting up and breaking down, and that patch has held the entire time. And so you can make little small ones. They give you like 3 yards of it, And so you could cut little small ones and just make them like quarter size and just patch that up if those holes ever happen. Because like once I take this off and because I'm going to set this up in Arizona on my new property. So once I take this off in Arizona, I'm not going to put it back on. I'm not going to deal with this crap anymore, because like if that was off, I would be able to sleep no problem. But literally on Saturday night, I mean, I sat here and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning and my head just pounded because I was tired, and it was so loud. And I'm just like, man, I can't even think straight, And so my advice is, if you get this tent, do not put that on there. And also don't use the tent floor that I used to rave about. What I found that thing was doing was it was trapping water in between the tent floor protector and the actual tent floor, and the bottom of the tent floor protector was getting mildew on it, which would turn to mold. So you don't want that. So with the condensation that happens in here, because it happens every day, this isn't cotton canvas, so it doesn't breathe. And so if it's cold out, and the colder it is, the more condensation you're going to have. So as soon as you start to warm up your tent in the morning, all that moisture is going to come running down to the walls like this, down the side, and then down to the side walls of the tent. There's a little channel there where it will run down. So if you put your tent like on a little bit of an incline or a slope, it'll run down to one side, and then you can just towel it up or sweep it over. And what I do is I'll sweep it over into the little area underneath my stove here where I've got the atrium going. Let me show you the atrium real quick. We got some good grass here, but this is wide open ground, and so you can literally, yeah, baby girl, I got to put this in here and not have her tail get hit. But this is wide open ground right here, and so you can literally just sweep your water over here and you're good to go. But you can see there's some pretty good grass down here. There's like this little tuft back in here, which is a pretty good one. So this stuff grows pretty fast. After about 3 days of being out here, you'll start to see a pretty good amount of grass come up. And by 7 days, you've got yourself a nice little patch of grass. So it'll be kind of interesting to see over in Arizona if anything grows up from underneath where I'll be putting the tent. There's an area over there that's really nice that I plan to put the tent in. So, all right, let's get caught up on messages here. I'm sorry. I kind of went off there for a little bit. Let's see. I think people were asking about with the air mover on your stove. Yeah, Bill, that's a good question. A lot of people ask about this too. And this is something that I didn't know about. I didn't know about these little fans. So what this is this is an eco fan. And This one is the biggest one that they have. It's the new one. It's the model. Let's see. It's EcoFan model 812 Air Max, and I think it just has a little bit more of these little things on the side to attract to create more of a temperature disparity. Because how this works is like right in between here with these wires on the back. I don't know if you can really see this. There's a little white pad in there. That's a thermoelectric generator. And so what happens is the base here is real solid and is designed to attract a bunch of heat and bring it up here and disperse it right underneath this. Well, what you want on the other side is you want something that's cooler to create that effect to where it creates energy, and it can turn this little motor that's right here. So the nice thing about this is essentially it has such a wide base and it has this big cooling area on the top. The temperature disparity allows it to where this turns on at 162 degrees Fahrenheit. So if it's sitting on top of your stove and you just get your stove going, this will actually start to turn on and push the air around. The one I had before this was the medium size, not the large one, and it turned on at like I think it was like 212. Was it 206? It was like 206 or 212 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's a lot of degrees difference, you know. And you got to think. And there was another feature too. What was it? I forget. There was something about this that was advantageous over the medium one. But anyway, if you're going to get a fan, stove fan, I recommend this one. Now there are Chinese knockoffs you can get that are much cheaper. This one's expensive. It was 150, but it's made out of a really good metal alloy. That way, or it's a pure metal. That way, the heat transfer is good and it doesn't break. Those Chinese knockoff ones, a lot of times the heat on it will make the metal on it fracture. When that happens, the stove starts to rattle really bad, and then eventually it'll break and fall off. But you know, people usually replace them by then. Another thing too is that a lot of times it's possible to damage this little electromagnetic sensor or thermoelectric generator sensor in here. And so if you happen to accidentally bump that with something, if a stick gets in there and pokes it and breaks through the membrane, you have to replace these. And you can get replacements of these for like $15. You can get them on Amazon. You can also get them on EcoFan. If you go to EcoFan, God, what is it? Ecofan.au, or I think maybe they're Canadian, or ecofan.ca or ecofan.com. It'll probably get you there. But if you just look it up, EcoFan, you'll see all the different ones they have on there. They have really small ones too. At Baron and Elso, they have a smaller size one for their cubic mini and their scamp, because that's a little bit of a smaller surface space. They didn't want to take it all up with like a base from this. But this stove has such a massive surface space, it's no problem to put a large stove fan on there, and that works. I mean, they say that it only increases air efficiency of like pushing the heat around by like 20%, but I notice a massive difference. If you don't have that, all your heat goes straight up and just sits right at the top of this tent here, and eventually it'll get warm down here, but it takes a lot longer for that to happen. And when you have this fan, it just automatically starts to create like a circular kind of circulation, in here. So you got like the circle airflow pattern, and it will really warm up your tent much faster. So I recommend it, even if you're working with a small stove, like if you're backpacking. If you can get the little tiny one, it's like dinky. It's really small, but it still pushes around the air really good. So, I think it's worth it. It also helps with your wood efficiency too. You don't go through as much wood because you're not as cold. And so, you got to think that if your stove's pushing around that air and making it all warm in here, it doesn't matter if you're over here cooking dinner or over by the stove, you're going to be comfortable. But if you're not having that air stove on you, I can tell you from experience, the only place you're comfortable in here, especially during a windstorm when it's really cold, is over by the stove. So get the stove fan. It saves you money. It's more comfortable. You save money on the wood that you save from the efficiency, and it's definitely worth it. So good question with that. That's a key thing to winter camping, because when I first got the stove, I didn't know that, and I'm like, why the hell is it so cold in here? I'm burning through all this wood and I'm freezing, and I'm seeing other people online and they're having no problems with it. And then I figured out the EcoFan. Now the EcoFan's available at most hardware stores. At least they are in Colorado and Arizona where I've been, and so and also Utah and New Mexico. But I can't speak to other places, so I don't really know. But like Ace Hardware always has them. If you go to the stove section, especially in the wintertime, you'll see them there. They might get overpicked pretty quick, but they always get shipments in. So it's something to consider. I think it's worth the investment. So, all right, let's see what else have we got here. I'm a little bit behind on stuff here. All right, let's see. What have we got? Greetings from American Tiger. Go Buckeyes. Beat Bama. What's up, Dave? What's up, Vaughn? Yeah, let's see. That's gonna be interesting to see that Ohio State quarterback, man. That guy, that last game, he was on fire. So we'll see what happens. Bama's basically like a junior pro team though, so we'll have to see what happens there. My team, Kansas State, we got a really good quarterback, so I'm pretty stoked about that. But I don't know if I'll be able to get games out there in Arizona. We'll see. All right, so what's for dinner tonight? That's a good question. I don't know. I'm thinking I'll probably do like a bagel, like an egg, bacon and cheese bagel sandwich. I've got those. I got to eat that up, and then that's probably about it. That maybe a little bit of yogurt. I've got some good coconut yogurt that I like. This is stuff called So Delicious, and it is really good. But it's like addictive. So you get it, and it's like one tub's like this, and it says on the back of it that there's like 13 servings, but it actually is just one. And so you just sit there and eat that whole thing all night. And it's made. I don't know what makes it so fattening, but it has like 40% of the fat content that you need for the game. All right, so this is a good question here. Jake was asking about how I watch the games. And so I was subscribed to this. I just canceled it, but I was watching. Um, let's see, is it Fubo.tv? I think is what it is. So it's Fubo, and they have an NFL package you can get, and so I did that, and it was nice. And um, so it was, it's like $65 a month, and I think $10 extra for the extra NFL games and stuff like that. So I was able to watch the Chiefs back here a lot because the Chiefs are my team, and so watching Patrick Mahomes start up again this season was pretty fun. There's other streaming services too. The thing I like about Fubo is that you can put in a zip code as to where you want the programming located, or it will just geolocate you to wherever you're at and align all the programming to that. So if you're watching like regional football and you're in California and you want to pick up the Pac-10 games, it'll automatically pick up those Pac-10 games for you. So, all right, let's see here. What else have we got? Yes, you can get KUs. Oh, right on, AG Guns. That's cool. You're from KSU as well. I graduated in '98. I was a international. Well, I did a business degree with emphasis in international business and a minor in Spanish, or a minor in marketing. I'm 3 hours away from a minor in Spanish. I can't even talk. I'm so tired. So I had so much fun when I was going to school there. We started in 1993, and it was right after there was a huge flood there, and so we'd go out to the golf course, and the golf course was just rolling mud, and so we'd go out there and play golf. It was like $7 at Stag Hill, and all those fun places to hit up around there. That was a good time. All right, so let's see. Oh, I do like MMA, so that's a good question from Alan here. He was asking about McGregor and Poirier. I don't know, man. That's I mean, McGregor's top dog if his head's in the game, but we'll see. I mean, Dustin, I think it's Dustin is his first name. That dude's a stud, so we'll see. All right. What else have we got? Temperatures tonight, just in case for anybody's wondering. Today it got up to about 25 for the high, and then this evening it's supposed to get down to -2 here at camp, and then we're supposed to have winds of up to 15 miles an hour later, which that's really going to be lame because that's going to make it to where it's really, really cold out. So let me stoke the stove real quick, and I'm going to bring you over with me. I'm going to put some pine wood in here because the pine wood burns pretty fast, and I want to save the hardwoods for later this evening when I go to bed and when I want to get the longer burns. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. When I went over to my wood broker, I was asking them about the wood that was available, and they're like, we literally only have pine. Like, we don't have anything else available. We have a little bit of hardwood. So I took the tiny bit of hardwood, which was available. But the one thing about pine that I'll show you is that, well, you can see it in there. So this is literally right on the bottom of the stove, and it breaks down to nothing. So there's not much coals left in it, and it burns out pretty quick. And so that's kind of unfortunate. That means I'm going to be up a lot throughout the night. And I mean, I do have, like I said, like 6 pieces of hardwood in here, and then I've got some hardwood for tomorrow as well. But I'm thinking that once I run through this, they weren't very confident that they were going to get more hardwood in over at the wood broker. And so I'm thinking that instead of battling through the rest of the winter season and dealing with insanely tiring evenings, because when you're working with either aspen or pine, you run through it so fast. You're up stoking the stove every 2 hours. So you can't get into REM sleep. And if you can't get into REM sleep, you just feel like, I remember my first winter camp, no, my second my second full season winter camping, I made the stupid declaration that I was going to chop all my wood. So I got the permit from the Forest Service,
and I set up in a firewood cutting area, and I chopped it instead of chainsawed it. And by halfway through the season, I couldn't even move my arms because I had tennis elbow and golfer's elbow in both elbows, and then I had like tendonitis in my wrists, and I couldn't grip anything. And I'm like, how in the hell did these people do it back in the day? You know, these crazy miners and stuff like that. So, all right, so for the Super Bowl, I think Chiefs are good. I mean, obviously they're doing some good stuff. I mean, they're a great team, but we'll see different stuff. All right, we gotta chill this dude out. Hang on. Somebody keeps posting the same stuff over and over, so we'll put that person in timeout. All right, thanks. Icon water jug update. Yeah, Kyle, it's going good. So, actually, let's see. Oh no, Danielle, I'm doing fine. It's my allergies. I changed allergy medication and I can't breathe. So, let me grab the water purifier though, real quick. So this thing is awesome. It's quickly becoming one of my favorite items that I'm getting, or one of my favorite items that I have. So, oh Beth, thank you very much. Stay warm with tonight with Sierra from Cape Cod. Oh, cool, that's awesome. So yeah, the water purifier though is working out great. I have no complaints. I mean, it's really a really great water purifier. Let me show you how good the flow is out of it now. Because last time when we were doing this, I think the flow was halfway decent, but now it's even better. So the more that you use it, the more that the flow comes out of there in a rapid fashion. So let's see where we're at right now. It was pretty good earlier. Whoops, because I just got it on the computer there. Sorry about that. So it's going pretty good. If you let's see, I just can't really see from there. So from the side, I was holding it out to here. It's back here. So holding out there, it's a pretty good flow. And it's just supposed to get better and better with time because as the water works its way through more of that filter, you got to think the filter is like, it's literally the size from right here all the way down to the bottom of this. So, it's a big filter to hydrate. And it does take a little bit of prep time. That's one thing I wanted to say is like, if you get one of these, don't just take it out of the box and go to the back end. You actually have to hydrate it with purified water. And the reason you have to do that is because the water purifier in there, if you do it with water that's not purified, bacteria will get in there, and eventually it'll get it to enough to where it will spoil your purifier, and it won't do anything for you. You'll just be getting sick every time you get water from this. And so the prep process with it is you fill it up, you put the purifier in there, let it sit for 10 minutes, or if you have the time, let it sit for a full day. But if you don't have time and you're getting ready to go out in the field, let it sit for 10 minutes, and then you take it out, dump it all out, fill it back up, put it back in there, pump it up and pressurize it, and then get half of the water out, and then let it sit on its side with the water purifier on the bottom. Let it sit there like that for I think another 20 minutes, and then you're good to go. So that's how it works. So, oh, that's cool. We got a person tuning in here from the UK. So I hope everything's going good. I did hear that that you all are on lockdown again. I guess there's a new variant of the virus that is out. So I really hope that gets squared away soon. Me personally, just in case anybody knows what my beliefs are on it. I mean, obviously I know the coronavirus is real, but I don't think shutting everything down is the right call. I think destroying all these people's livelihood is making it worse, and I really feel sorry for people. I didn't see this coming. Obviously I feel really fortunate living this way, especially given what's going on. But I don't want to see all the suffering and all that stuff. It sucks to see all these people go through hardship, and hopefully my videos can provide a little bit of solace and get people's mind off stuff like that. And that's what I hope to provide with this. So going forward, I'm still going to be winter camping. It's still going to be cold out where I'm at. Evening temps there anywhere between 15 to 25 at night, and the daytime temps are a little bit warmer. I noticed today it was getting up in the 50s, so I was pretty excited about that. Here for the next, I would say, foreseeable future, there's like a 20-day stretch in the area where I'm at where it's just the coldest part of the year, and we just now enter that, and it doesn't stop until the end of the month. And so I figure with the hardwoods not being available, what happened was with the hardwoods is that my wood broker told me that everybody that does the wood for a side hustle, a lot of those people lost their jobs and they weren't able to fund their side hustle to go out and get the wood and then bring it in to get paid. So nobody brought wood. And so I went there and I was like, this yard is completely barren. There's no wood in it at all. They're like, yeah, we're out. They're like, we don't know if there's going to be more coming. So, all right, cool. Daniel, you're asking if do I get hurt sometimes? Yeah, there's actually two times where I was really scared, and they were accidents. It was like it wasn't anything that like an animal coming to attack me, or my vehicle went over a cliff or anything like that. The first time was I was winter camping. It was my first time winter camping, my first season winter camping, and I was doing meal prep because I was going back to Denver for work often because I still have a small business there, and so I meal prep these bacon breakfast burritos, and I do like 7 or 8 pieces of bacon at a time, so a lot of the grease would get into the skillet. And I was wearing a coat similar to this, except that it had the little hooks on it here for like gloves. And I reached over the stove, and when I pulled my hand back, that little hook grabbed a hold of the end of the skillet, little handle, and dumped that entire skillet of piping hot bacon grease all down my leg, and I had third-degree burns, and the synthetic long underwear melted into my skin. And so I literally I couldn't leave camp because there was a 3-foot snowstorm going on. But I had a doctor in town that I knew, and so I was FaceTiming with him, and he's like, all right, here's what you do. Here's how you change, here's how you put bandages on it, here's how you change it. We got to get the skin off eventually. So luckily the storm subsided and I was able to get into town, and we had to scrape all the skin off because it was infected with the synthetic long underwear that melted into my skin. So that was really gnarly. And the second time I blinded myself, this was actually last year, or this past summer. I did it with cayenne pepper. I didn't even think about this, but like I was sitting there, and the cayenne wouldn't open. I kept on trying to peel back this tiny little tinfoil thing, and so I thought, well, I'll just poke it with my finger. Well, I was at 10,000. I was like at 10,700 feet, so I didn't think about like that had been pressurized inside there. As soon as I poked it, it all just hit me in the face, and I didn't have any water on me. Like my water was out. And so I was like crawling around on my hands and knees, like literally blind at like 10,700 feet. Sun's going down. Sierra's running around somewhere. I'm cooking fish. So I'm in bear country in the middle of the summer cooking trout, and I can't see, and I have no idea where water is. And so I knew that there was a creek about 40 yards from me. And so I just crawled on my hands and feet, or hands and knees, and just kept on going until I hit it. And I would hear it, and I'd be like, okay, it's getting close. And then I just washed my eyes out, and I was finally able to see. But that was tough. And that's what I tell people. I'm like, it's not the big stuff that gets you back here. It's choking on something. You something goes down your windpipe and you can't breathe. It's your stove goes out. Maybe you went to the bar that night and you had a bunch of beers, your stove went out, and you or your stove has backdraft and you die of asphyxiation. That happens. That happens to people that are legitimately know what they're doing. And so like there's a risk back here, and I think that a lot of people, myself included, don't really appreciate all that before they come back here. And so I learned through some hard knocks of what to do. I got to say that the area where I burned my leg, it's still right here. It doesn't have any hair on it. It's from here all the way down to my foot, and that skin right there it's like the worst skin on the planet, because the 3rd-degree burns, like what happens is the skin that's left over, it itches constantly. It always hurts. If I bump it too hard, it'll break open immediately, like just cause I just like a moment's notice. It sun tans, like it sunburns real easy. And then if I'm close to a heat source, it hurts a lot. So I mean, and this is only on a small portion of my leg. I couldn't imagine, the people have to deal with this on a good portion of their bodies. So that one was the worst. And then not being able to see, it's like I knew there was water around, I just didn't know, it just wasn't right close to me. And so it was a little bit crazy. Like I was bumping into rocks and stuff, and then like I'd bump into bushes, and I'd have to like just keep going, and I just like, all right, just keep plugging along, like don't freak out. And that was kind of crazy because like that whole area up there is bear country where I was fishing, and with the fish going, or with the fish fry going that I was doing, that was kind of crazy. So all right, let me unpin that, and we'll ask some more stuff. All right, let's do about another 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna get some of my dinner going here. It's starting to get kind of dark out. Baron and Ilsa ran into town, and they're picking me up a few supplies, which is kind of nice of them. So I really appreciate it. Ilsa, I don't know if you've been following their videos, but Ilsa and Baron posted a really awesome video yesterday on their channel. So go check it out. I think the editing on it is the best they've done. And it's a really cool, they're doing like a 3-part series. So it's the first of the 3 parts, and it's really good stuff. And they do cold plunges out here, which I'm like I think I'm tough, but I'm not that tough. And so they've been doing cold plunges every day, which I think is crazy. So that's in the video as well. But let's see, what was I saying? What's up, girl? What you doing over there? Let's see if we got any good questions here. All right, what else have we got? Oh, somebody doing cinnamon. Yeah, that's cinnamon. That would definitely get it too. I gotta say that cayenne pepper hurts. Like as soon as it hits the membranes, it got into my nose too, so I couldn't really breathe. And that was really gnarly. So, but like I said, the things that you gotta watch out for back here, are like choking. Stuff to where like there's no way out if you can't. If somebody can't give you the Heimlich maneuver, like you're done. And so there was one time where like I almost choked, and I was like, "Whoa, that's really a bad situation to get into back here because you're done." So, um, so anyway, let's see. Let's see what's their site. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Let me post up. I'm gonna get Baron and Elsa's. Here is their channel. All right, let me put this up. Oops. There we go. Okay, there is Baron and Elsa's channel. So let's see here. Let's see, Nikki, that's a good question. What's my favorite aspect of winter camping? And honestly, I think it's the working aspect of it. Like you're always doing something. And so I like that engaged, living back here. It's like I'm working with the stove, or I'm making sure my solar's in place, or I'm cooking meals, or I'm cleaning up stuff, or I'm taking care of Sierra, or whatever, and making sure my wood's in order, making sure I'm ready for storms coming up, and make sure I got my water. I like those like basic things in life, those basic components that you have to get in order to make sure you survive out here. Then all the other stuff on top of it is just gravy. So like, getting a chance to be able to camp with my friends Baron and Elsa during this time is really nice. And then on top of it too, we get to share these cool experiences together. And so, for all these years before this, I was always alone. And I never ever winter camped with anybody. I'd always ask people to come out, and I almost had some people come out that worked at the BB Roastery. These two gals that used to work there, and they're both cool adventure gals that are really awesome, but they end up never coming out. So I'd always just be out here being like, man, this is so awesome. I hope somebody else starts doing this. And so it was nice that they started doing it as well. So all right, let's see. Oh, this is a good question. A lot of people ask me how I find camping spots. And it's assumed that I use like an app or something like that, and I actually don't use the apps. And the reason for that is if I use those apps, everybody else is using the apps, and that they'll probably be crowded areas. And I really like to go to places that aren't crowded. And so I tend to look at those sites and those apps, and then I go to the other areas, and I go away from that. And all the areas that I've found and the places that I go to and that I frequent are areas that I've literally spent just countless hours driving 4x4 trails or driving county roads and just seeing if there's anything down there. And most of the time there's not. And so a lot of times those trips can be kind of frustrating because you're like, man, is there any good camping around here? But then you start to come across these gems, and you got to think, if they're hard to find and there's no one back there and it doesn't have a lot of traces of human impact, my chances are it's an off the beaten path area. And I've got a lot of those places which I hold really close to my chest, and I don't want to give that information out just because I realize that things can get spoiled and all that stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of the areas that I used to go to here have all been discovered, but that's part of the thing, so that's all good. I mean, I discovered them at one point too, and so other people are going to discover them as well. And so what I do is I just typically go back to the areas to where there's just not anybody around, and typically that's right up against wilderness areas, like all the trails that go to the hiking trails into wilderness area. Nobody goes into wilderness areas. So I go into there, and typically there's no cell reception out there. So that's kind of another thing that keeps people away. So, all right, let's see. Hello, new show. Oh, let's see here. So this is a good one. So Mindy's mom was asking how I met Baron and Elsa, and one of Baron's friends in Kansas City, back before Baron and Elsa hit the road, they were prepping to hit the road. And they were saying, hey, we're going to go to Colorado, and we're going to go to the central Colorado area near Salida. And I guess one of their friends was following my channel at that time. And I didn't have very many people follow me back then. It was only a couple thousand. And this was back in like 2016, I think is what it was. It was maybe 10,000 people, maybe. But all I would do is just do truck camping stuff. And so his friend followed me. I was like, hey, you got to get in touch with Brian. And so when they got out here, they got set up in an area that I knew of. And then Baron just messaged me and was like, hey, do you want to like meet? Because we're on the road and you are too. And it'd be cool to have some nomad friends. And so I met them, and then I hung out with Baron by the campfire. It was kind of raining that night, and so Elsa was hanging out in the camp. She had a little bit of a cold. And then ever since then, we all stayed in touch, and we bounce ideas off each other about things. Like Baron's writing a really good book right now, and so it's been really nice. And I love the fact that he trusts me with reading it and giving my feedback. So that's been a lot of fun. I pick up a lot of video ideas from them because they're so creative, and Elsa does such a fantastic job with all the videos that she does, that they're the ones that actually got me doing lifestyle videos. And I don't think I've ever told them that, so I need to tell them that. But before I met them, I never thought about anybody being interested in like just the day-to-day stuff out here. I thought it was always like, here's a water purifier, or here's a sleeping pad or something. Like I thought I had to make content like that. And so when I met them, it was funny. Like the first winter camping with them, we were set up, and it was like, I think it was after Thanksgiving, but we were doing a really nice meal around the stove, and Elsa was filming for a video, and she busts out the camera, and so I'm like trying to position my hands like to where she can see what I'm doing and stuff. She's like, "You do you," and I'm like, "Why would anybody want to see what I do?" And so that got me thinking about it. Like, hey, it's maybe I should do videos like that. So I started doing them, and that's when the channel started to take off. So I really owe them a huge thank you for that idea, because I didn't ever think about that before. All right, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, Steve, I'm good at cooking. I like to cook with cast iron, and I cook a ton of different stuff. So let's see. Oh man, so let's see. Let me put this up. I am sorry to hear about that you had the 3rd-degree burns on your body. That is just tough, because like the recovery on it's so gnarly. At least like when I would stand up, it was crazy. I could stand up for about 15 seconds, and then the blood pressure would finally get down to my leg, and just the little amount of blood that was going down to my leg, just that little amount of expansion, felt like my leg was falling apart. Like it felt like my skin was completely, everything was splitting apart just from that little bit, because all the all the skin was gone from the 3rd-degree burns. It was pretty crazy. So that was gnarly. So I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad that you made it out of that though. But that's tough. I hope that you're feeling okay these days. All right, let's see here. Let me put this user in timeout. Sorry, there's something that keeps. I don't know if chats just keep on repeating themselves, but it seems like they do. So I don't mean to offend by removing those messages, but it's like they go on forever. So, all right, let's see what else have we got. Oh, cool, from India. Wow, that's great. I want to put this up. That's really cool that you're tuned in from India. I've never been there, but I had a friend of mine go over there. He goes over there often, and he's big into yoga and goes over there and leads retreats and stuff like that. He's like, man, you got to get over to India. And I think I would love the history. I just think that there's so much to see around this world. And I've only really spent time in the American hemisphere. I've been up in Canada a little bit, all over the United States, obviously, and then into Central and South America. But I'd love to go overseas and go to Asia and India and all that different stuff. So that's cool. Indie Lab, cool. That's you're from India too. That's awesome. That's so cool. That's what's great about having the internet like this. We can all connect and be all over the world. So it's pretty cool. So, oh, I see. People like to spam. So Mindy, you were saying about that. So, hey, I wanted to say, is anybody following Forest's channel? Because he got that new 4x4 van that he's building out, which is pretty awesome. So I'm pretty stoked to see what he does with that. He's a good guy. He does some really great hiking and all that stuff. So I don't know if you're not following his channel, let me go ahead and put this up real quick. It's Forest. He's I think he's up in Canada. I don't know exactly where at in Canada though, but he was in a minivan, and then now he sold the minivan, and it was like a really killer interior build out that he did. It was like this micro apartment inside the minivan. So there's Forest, but it was like this micro apartment in there. But now he's got a full on 4x4 van that he's going to be doing that. So, all right, let's see here. What else have we got? A couple more questions, and then I'm going to go ahead and log off and cook some dinner. So like I was saying, I'm gonna break down the tent probably on Thursday, maybe tomorrow. I don't really know which day. I'm going to go see a few friends here in the Central Colorado region, and then I'm going to jet out to Arizona. I'm going to drop my tent off, all this stuff off of my buddy's place at that ranch that I was hanging at, because it's pretty close to where I'll be, where my property will be. Then I'm going to go to Sedona, hang out over there, maybe go hit the Verde Hot Springs for a bit, then roll back over to Prescott, take care of the window issue in my truck, and then go over and get the property on the 25th. So I'm really excited for that. 14 acres, it's all off grid. I do have, all right, let's see here. I do have a cell phone reception there, which is really great. So I get to have connectivity, but I can still be out in the middle of nowhere, which is awesome. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and, oh, Kevin, you're not in shorts down there. You get 24 inches of snow last week down there? That's crazy. All right. I'm gonna get rolling. I'm really hungry, and I want to get rolling here. So, but like I said, this will probably be the last live stream from Colorado, and then when we get over to Arizona, I'll start doing live streams over there. So I'll keep you all posted on my whereabouts and all that stuff, and we'll keep going. So thank you to everybody who's been tuning in. Thank you to all the new subscribers. It's been crazy. The month of December brought about 30,000 new subs, which is absolutely nuts. Like I said, I never thought people would be tuning in like this. So I appreciate it. And I just want to keep on bringing you real content as long as I can. And that's what I'm going to keep doing. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll see you in the next live stream in Arizona. All right. Have a good night. All right, girls.